I remember when she like talked about. I remember when Paris talked about like that's a voice and that's like a person I put on or whatever. But like I'm really down here, and like she sounds like a boy.
But I think it's a little bit of both. Like that voice, I do think came out of a natural thing that she probably did at home a little bit, like when she wanted something or like being cute and cozy.
Yes, for sure.
Because there is something very organic about.
Kathy Hilton was the originator of the voice.
Is that so?
Yeah, she was there was like a clip of saying like, "Oh, we got that from Mom," because she used to be like.
Wow.
That's how I talk at home.
No, sorry. You mean that's how you talk to Philip now?
Correct. At home.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
I'm like, baby, I want something sweet. And
like, sorry. You meant for like sweet, sort of everyday.
Really,
moments.
just everything, or like it's like, good morning, how you shit. And like, there's some points where I'm like, all right, we gotta snap out of that. It's
I know.
Like,
don't age yourself. You're making yourself more of an abuela before you actually are.
Oh, I think that's well, I think it's the opposite. I think having the voice is very youthful and playful. Yeah. That's something young couples do.
Yeah, well, when Johnny makes that, did you hear the voice he just did? It's just giving a little like my teeth in my mouth.
It's a little cocaine rasp. For the listeners, I've done no cocaine this weekend.
Ever.
Yeah, I don't. No.
I don't partake in the white devil.
But I'll partake in the white man.
Which is also the white devil.
One and the same. Well, I'm not going to even get into race play. That's another story altogether.
Oh,
Morning glory. That's another story, morning glory.
It really, really is.
Oh, my God.
It is. No, ever since people, now that you can, your likes are, so a big change in Twitter, for those of you who aren't on Twitter or X. Now
this
you
feels
can't
directed
go to
me.
Somewhat. So you can't go to someone's profile and see the things that they've liked.
I did see that update.
That used to be something you could turn off, right? You could turn that option. You could privatize that. You could choose to not disclose, but overall, most people just left it up. And it was so helpful because you could just go kind of through and see someone's stream of consciousness and really see what they're looking at.
That's why I don't like things now. Like even on Insta.
Now it doesn't matter.
No, but I meant on Insta. Like I'll like something in my head, and I'm like because I'm trying to. I don't want the algorithm to like
to feed it to you.
To feed more of the thing. Do that make sense?
More men.
But what if it's like something lovely?
Dogs and
Oh my God.
Dogs.
That is so funny because the other day me and Philip were like, oh, let's look at each other's explore pages.
And what did you learn?
Embarrassing. Mine was like all men and like 2 brownies. And his was just like all like Beyonce, cookies, puppies. And I was like, maybe like 1 or 2 men every now and then.
Who suggested we look at the explore pages?
Who do you think?
He did.
No, me.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
Well, because I was at a party. No. I was at a party. I was at a party once, and someone's like, "What's your type in men?" I was like, "I don't really have a type. I kind of like I like them all." And they're like, "Open your explore page right now."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Oh," and then I opened, it and they're like, "That is your type," and I was like, "Oh." So I like thought about that with Philip, and I was like, "Oh, I would love to see like what your
I love when people have
pages
gotchas." Yeah. There. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, a gotcha at a party.
Yeah, like you see, I'm so smart. It's just I can see this person. What a fucking
That's
tool.
your type.
Keep on going. Yeah.
I can be that person sometimes. I'm the person that's like, you said something like, oh yeah, like let's dig deeper, but like sassily get in there. You know what I mean? I can do that sometimes, Juan.
Yeah. Police! Wait, was I going to finish telling you about race play? Oh, so now that you cannot see likes, you're seeing OnlyFans creators and people and things that are getting more likes than they used to.
Oh.
So I've kind of noticed the trend when you
algorithm?
just go to, when I go to the For You, like their their For You version where it's just tweets compiled for you.
Right.
I just noted that overall like numbers are higher than usual. And it's because now people are liking with abandon because
because they're not they're not going to get clocked by their employer or boyfriend.
Yes.
But
and
the person that is the person that the post owner can still see that you've liked their thing, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I guess you would, right?
I know if you pay, and if you pay for Twitter, you get to see who bookmarked your post also. Yeah, you get that feedback to see exactly. And on TikTok, you get to know who bookmarked your page inherently.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But this is something that's a feature you. So anyway, the reason I say that is because on my For You page now, all of a sudden, some other things have started to pop up, which means that a lot of my friends and people who I follow have started to like things that, people who I follow, who I have interacted with are liking things that's feeding me stranger things. Strange things.
What would you say one of those things would be?
Race play. Yes, my feed on Twitter is now full of things I really don't want to see. I don't want to see that.
Wow. That's crazy.
Race play. The girls are liking it, and it has come up.
Name 'em.
What is an example? An example is this creator who does.
Wait, you mean like during sex?
Yeah. Also, just in general, more pornography has popped up on my For You page, and it's definitely attached to people liking more liberally, without question. I just know it. Because you can kind of just tell, like, it was just one day from one day to the next.
Wow.
It's absolutely wild. And now that Twitter's also said, as long as it is not hate speech or harmful, and both parties are consenting adults, it's allowed on the app. So now, before it was just kind of this unspoken permission. Now it's a spoken permission.
Wow.
Because we don't say that he hits you. But now we said it.
Oh my God, you guys, I just watched a clip that I'm sure you both watched in real time, but to me it felt very new. But it was like, something, you're so fake, and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, yeah, can I tell you the one fake thing about me? And then she puts she had a fake leg?
Yeah.
Her name is Aviva Drescher. It's Aviva both backwards and forwards. It works the same way.
Wow.
Aviva. And
did she say that on the show once?
No, but a girl that I went to high school with did. So
okay.
Oh, no, not high school. Maybe she was a stage door man. Either way, she was like, it's Aviva, backwards and forwards.
Work.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Aviva Drescher.
That was quite what's it
clip.
called? A clip, yeah.
And what's funny is that her fake leg went from being something very kind of a thoughtful, the decorum of the show, because we spoke about her.
We included a woman with one leg.
Exactly, and her disability.
Right,
and then
Listen, her disability was spoken to. No one was making fun of her.
No.
There was a gentility about it. It was not objectified in a nasty way until it was. And the worst part is she kind of did the objectifying.
She did.
Yeah.
She wasn't.
I know
that
what
wasn't
you're
the
all
first
thinking.
Incident.
She said, slam that thing on the table.
I would love to ask her about how in those 7 seconds where the decision was like, you know what, like that she knew to.
Oh, she didn't decide in those 7 seconds, baby. She decided that at home. She was getting herself ready to go. She knew she was going to that dinner. She knew it was going to be filmed. She knew that her contract was going to be up for renegotiation. She had to pull out all the legs.
Juan, do you agree?
Yeah, she's a very scripted woman on the show.
Oh, interesting.
If you saw her on the show, she's very smart. Aviva Drescher is very, very smart. We're talking about the Real Houses of New York, by the way, in which Aviva Drescher, one of the later seasons, I think it was season 6.
Yeah.
Test me on that, but I think it was season 6, and she gets into an argument, and at the season finale, I think it was season finale.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, she gets into an altercation, and she throws her fake leg onto the table to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, the ultimate period.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think she came back.
Wow. No, she didn't. That was the end of her. That was the last leg she had
one-legged
to stand
reign.
on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, she was the kind of lady who would plan a line. And because remember, she says, the only fake thing about me, it was a little too scripted, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Okay.
The only fake thing about me is...
It's crazy. Countess Luann's reaction is...
It's amazing. She's amazing. Okay, so from one theatrical event to another.
Last night was the 77th Tony Awards.
Yes.
Here's what I will say. I am so happy for Shayna Taub. Talk about stage door manner. I went to camp with Shayna Taub. I've known her since I was literally a kid.
Wow.
And to see her win for Best Score and Best Book for SUFs, it just speaks to, you know, what everyone says when someone goes up to win an award, that if you work hard and you really try and you focus on, like, that is literally that. It's a Abbott Elementary kind of story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that makes the Tonys worth it, because first of all, she really deserved Best Book because all the source material. I was thinking about this. You know, Hamilton is like based on a book about this man. And Shayna had to kind of combine it's a lot of little mini Hamilton. She tried to like make all these people sing together in one show, and she had to kind of discuss the nuance of women who were fighting for the right to vote, but were not fighting for black women in general. And you know, all this intersectionality.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being like, I'm going to write that musical, and here's how the script is going to go. And all these facts are correct. And would someone like to fact check me? I mean, I'm just amazed, and I'm really happy that she won.
I love that.
You saw The Outsiders, right?
I did see The
Best
Outsiders.
musical.
It won? It won?
It won Best Musical.
Oh my God, great. That's huge. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was some of the best fight choreography and just choreography in general. That like, it was just so well done. And have we never talked about this? But Johnny, you'll be here. I don't know if you want to see shows. Like, it would actually be. I would be curious to hear what you think about it, because it's some of the best male singing I've heard in a long time. Like, I was just like, it's very kind of Marc Broussard, Gavin DeGraw, New Orleans, you know, and all these boys on stage are just like singing, you know? And I remembered kind of like just love. It was kind of the 2024 version of A West Side Story in that they're, you know, there's a group from the other side of the tracks, and there's like the squares and anyway, and the gang vibe of it all. Yeah, very that.
Did you guys have to read The Outsiders ever growing up?
No, it wasn't part of my read, but I know that was something for American schools here.
Yeah, I had to read it. It is.
I'm so sorry.
I can't. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, did something make you laugh, Johnny?
I'm sorry. Every time we talk about Euro, Ian, it makes me giggle.
Just because it makes sense. Wait, why?
Because it just okay. There's just a
good glottal. We love a glottal.
There's just a little air of what's the word? There's just a poshness that comes out of you when you talk about your time overseas. You know, with the London of it all, and the au pair and the American schools. It feels very what's that accent? The new transatlantic. So you're saying I don't maybe sound transatlantic, but I have a transatlantic attitude? Energy. There's an energy that's like, yes, darling, of course, when I was overseas and at the American schools, I know they had to do that, but back where we were, I don't think we did.
Oh my God. I was just saying, because like, you know, like in America, like a real, like you're not a real American, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
An American would be like, oh yeah, I never read The Outsiders, because like they don't read that. It's like, you know, it's an American thing. Versus like, no, it's not a part of the British curriculum. It's never quite. We never quite understood the stories of teenagers. It all seems quite pedestrian.
Oh my god!
Yes, that is just. I love it so much.
Yeah, it just has a little. It has a little. It's a little zesty when we talk about the UK.
Oh my god! Wow. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm holding on to it a little too strongly. No, but you know what's interesting?
You don't mention it that much.
Special.
No, you're right. I bring it up because obviously, like,
it's your J-Lo was on the block.
Bitch are like, bitch, he hasn't been here in forever. What the fuck is he talking about?
Oh my
like,
god,
what
you
block
need to go
again?
back to your block.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? Here's the thing is when I meet
back to your
people,
block in London and see if anyone recognizes your ass.
But that's what's funny is like when I meet people from the UK who were like, oh wait, like whereabouts did you grow up? And I'm like, oh, and I tell them like Kensington, and I'm like, I was on Brompton Road, and I tell them like where I grew up, and they're like, oh, like it's not like South London, and then I left when I was 5, and like I don't, you know what I'm talking, and like I'm still associating with this like thing. It's very much a part of the first 11 years of my life, and I think it's why actually I connect so much with people who are of both, like who grew up somewhere here and maybe like they had military family, people who traveled a lot. All of a sudden, like we get each other because there's this way that you also kind of had to chameleonize and learn a survival response in a way to have it. Do you know what I mean? Like it teaches you to grow up pretty fast. But I also am very lucky that I speak 3 languages quite well and was
American English, British English.
Sorry. Oh, so then 5. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like it's not lost on me, and it might be a little like, whatever to mention it, but it makes me feel good, and I love that I had the upbringing I had.
Oh my God, yes. And you know, it's funny, you don't actually use it as much as other people would who would have lived there for the first 11 years.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I do it as a way of like, oh, by the way,
it's just funny that it's the United Kingdom. Like, because if it were, you know, any other place, if we were Tennessee, it would just feel a little bit different. But, you know, if you're like, yeah, no, we didn't, in Tennessee, we never were the outsiders. But
it also
in
like
the
always
Queen's counties,
I think it always catches me off guard
not
too.
recommended.
It always catches me off guard too because I just picture little Miami, Ian, and I forget that there was, you know, like I lived in Germany for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, Texas and New Orleans, and I was just traveling all around. But I don't even. What'd you say?
You should lead with more Germany. That's interesting.
But it's just not part of my lore as much. I remember it very, very much in my brain, but I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. When were you in Germany? Like what ages?
Like 2 to 5.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Like I remember a lot of firsts there. Like
literally in kindergarten. Kindergarten. Actual kindergarten.
Wow.
Kindergarten is a German word, right?
Well, I mean, the English is a Germanic language, of course. But luckily, we also, all 3 of us, speak a Romance language as our second language.
If you were to move to any country tomorrow in the EU, which would it be?
Ooh. Oh my, that is. Well, actually, no, that's not so hard. I think I would move to. I think I'd move to London because you can travel quite easily. And you can just take the tube to go to France whenever you want, and Spain whenever I want, and Germany whenever I want. And so, I feel the London it calls me back. My hometown, it calls me back.
I would probably have to say, well, I love Spanish so much. I love speaking Spanish, so I think it would have to be Spain.
Of course.
But I also love English. I love the English language, and I would miss using it all the time. So it'd probably be either London, if I could be in London, but if not, it would be probably Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Ay, sí, mi amor.
Oh, my God.
Right on the water there, darling.
Johnny, what about you?
Gay Perry.
Ooh,
romantic.
Exactly. I just want to be involved with romance at all times.
Are you guys people who, when you speak Spanish, and this is obviously showing my cards because I do this, but when you are around people who are de España y hablan así, like, do you mirror them a little bit? Juan,
No.
I've been around you when you speak Spanish. We've been around, we've traveled a lot, but, like, I don't notice it. But does it happen maybe when, like, friends aren't around and you can, like, kind of be a new person and, like, you're by yourself and you want to have a fantasy, like me a lot of the time?
Like, when you guys aren't there to fucking embarrass.
Yeah, exactly. To call me out.
I will. You know who I will do it to? I'll do it with friend of the pod, Robert Correa. Robert Correa and I went to Barcelona, and we were in Barcelona and Ibiza and all of that and blah blah blah. And, like, it comes out there. It comes out. But that's a me thing, regardless. Like, if people from the UK are in front of me, forget about it. It's like that's blah blah blah. But I've always, as a kid, I just do the mirroring thing.
Well, you're also an artist, so it feels like, oh, this is fun to play. And
always working on the craft, darling. Always working on the
sorry.
craft.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
I actually have always felt very insecure. Well, I've always felt very insecure because my accent in Spanish is not super Cuban. It's not highly affected, and I've always felt it's a little bit more. People always tell me I'm either Venezuelan or I'm Puerto Rican. It's just a little bit lighter. It's a little code switched.
It's that newscaster Spanish, baby.
Yeah, correct.
Grew up in the news business.
Correct. It's just my mom has the most beautiful Spanish ever, and I've kind of mimicked hers. It's very neutral. So I've always kind of felt like an imposter a little bit. So no, if anything, it just gets a little bit more. If I put on anything, I put on a little bit of a thicker Cuban accent to feel more Cuban.
Yes, I see.
Yeah, especially because people love Cuba when you travel. Ooh. In Spanish-speaking countries, they're very interested in Cuba. So when they find out you're Cuban, they're like, tell me more.
Yeah, interesting.
So that, if anything, it gets more Cuban.
I think the only way that I can speak Spanish is if I give it a little extra... You know,
like you're of something else, like you pull from it.
Yes, like when I used to do Teresa videos and I used to speak in Spanish, it would just flow out of me because I wasn't thinking about the words. I was thinking about something else, you know. So I would say if you do know other languages and it is hard, just put on a character and it might just flow out of you.
Speaking of other languages and just like things that are lighting me up, the algorithm hit the jackpot for me and sent me, oh my God, this family in France. Her name is, I think it's like Mademoiselle, like Soph, like short for Sophie. And it's her, and she does bonjour, bonjour. And her little daughter comes on and she's like, it's Look du jour, which is like outfit of the day. But it's so
Look du jour.
Look du jour. And it's always like that. And then like the little one always pops in and she's like, cuckoo. And it's just so cute because the whole family does it. At first I thought it was just the mom, who is so chic and gorgeous and beautiful, and it's just like I love the French language so much, and I really do like I miss being able to speak as fast as I used to and all the things, whatever. But
you
I'll
can
send you
down in French.
I could, and if I moved back or if I was there, it would be fine. But it's the perfection final product ism thing, complex in me that like because I can't think like I used to in it. And it takes me a while to be like, conjugaison, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, like, how do I have forgotten words. And so then I just don't use it because it's not perfect. But then I'm like, well, but that's why it's still not perfect, is because you're just not using it. Anyway, but this account is just so cute. And, you know, it's giving like Loewe and things. But then a lot of like Zara. They wear a lot of Zara and H&M. And it's just like fun to hear them say things that we say.
So they rich.
Yes,
it's
I
a
think
little
so.
high low.
Yeah, but then also they wear like cause, un petit peu de cause, like, you know, and so it's so it's like
accessible.
No, and what I love also is on the little one, her little daughter. It's a lot of Zara. It's a lot of Zara and cause, because you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And H&M, excuse me, because she's gonna grow out of that.
Having kids is expensive no matter where you fucking live.
Exactly,
and the bitch is gonna grow out of it real quick. So
yeah, wait. I'm going to find it for you because I sent it to my sister, of course. Oh, my gosh, she's so cute. I want you to hear her. Hold on. I want you to hear it. Hold on.
Les amis, j'ai réussi à convaincre papa et vous venez les parents. Et on fait quoi? On fait un bisou.
And it's just so cute to see like a 6-year-old selling me clothing, pretty much.
And you're buying.
I love it so much. Anyway,
what
I'll
if you
send
moved
it
to
you.
Paris? What if you did like Ian avec Paris? Like,
Yann
you know,
avec Paris?
Emily in Paris.
Yes.
That would be
actually
so sickening, darling.
Yeah,
And you could
it
just
would
do
be.
like
Come visit.
Yeah, well,
I would
of course.
definitely come visit.
That would be
Yes.
really, really fun, actually. Because Paris, you know, I don't
Toilet.
have...
No, that's... Wait.
Bathroom?
En deux trois. Yeah, trois. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, tres leches.
Tres leches. Oh, my God. Toilet,
Well,
if you will.
Toilette.
You would,
Toilet.
toilet. So, like, Lait, which is milk.
Milk, yeah.
Yeah.
Un peu de lait.
Yeah, I don't know Paris like that. So that would really be a... like learning it for the first time. You know, like I've been once or twice. Like we used to go to the what's it called? The Disneyland that's there, or the Disney World that was
Oh,
there.
Euro Disney, which I've never been to.
Un petit peu de Disney, ouais. And it's just so fun. Like you hear those things. I'm not kidding. One of those videos was on replay while I was getting ready for whatever this weekend because I was just like repeating the words and I miss speaking in it. So you're like, well, I'm just gonna like say what they're saying, and you kind of like memorize their TikTok all of a sudden. That's what I was doing because I miss it. I really do wish I could access it with more people. And that's why I would like a boyfriend or life partner who speaks a second language. French or Spanish or is like someone who who wants to be able to speak those languages. You know what I mean?
You know, it is something that I loved about my ex was his Spanish.
You're right.
I loved it.
His Spanish was so good.
His Spanish was beautiful. He lived in Spain. And it was so wonderful to have that because it was so nice. He could speak to my family very authentically, you know. He could really express himself. But then we also had that too. Do you know what I mean? Like we could watch Drag Race España and like whatever else or in Spanish and talk about it. That was really nice. That's actually something that I really need to think about when pursuing my next partner, Ian, to try to prioritize that.
Yeah, it isn't. I know now that you
it's
think
not
about it,
something
like,
I think about.
Correct, because it was just there were other things that were also great about Jack, and you're just like, oh yeah, like this thing we used to access, and I loved that about him too because we used to talk about people in front of us to each other while they were in front of us, and they wouldn't know what we were talking about, which was always so fun.
Yes, you know, I've stopped myself from doing that as much lately because people be speaking Spanish.
People be speaking Spanish, honey.
People be speaking Spanish. They had one or two semesters en la escuela secundaria y tienen suficiente para entender. Like they're not fluent, but saben más o menos las palabras para poder entender cómo va a ser las cosas cuando una persona está hablando mierda de mí. For real. People are like, no.
¿Y esto fue a Columbia University? Or
I got in trouble. I got in not in bad trouble, but in trouble at a work event like 6 months ago. I was talking about the host of this party. No, I was talking about the host of the party. And I was not saying anything bad. I was saying, like, you know, a dress like that, you know, you really need to know. It said in Spanish, I said, para ponerse un vestido como ese, hay que tenerlas grandes. Unos cojones así. You have to have balls. You have to have big balls. And she was like, sí, te gusta. And I was like, I was a little bit making fun of her. Do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't entirely nice.
Right. It was
in the tone, but
yeah.
she let me off the hook.
It was giving Michelle Pfeiffer in Hairspray, and she's like, "You could stop traffic." To Tracy Turnblad.
Yes, exactly. She let me off the hook with that one, and then it happened. It wasn't on a date. Huh?
No, just laughing at you say people be speaking Spanish.
They do a little bit. Not a lot of it, but just
enough.
More than Ariana DeBose and less than me. Oh, my God.
Wow.
So, not too much of it at all. No, but that's an important thing that I.
But okay, gowns, very, very beautiful gowns. Should we turn to TV? Let's talk. What am I going to want to talk about? You know what?
Love Island?
Ooh, you're going to kill me, but I just haven't started it yet. I'm sorry.
He hasn't watched yet.
I haven't watched. You know what, actually? Do you guys want to sell me on something? I'm looking for something to watch.
Well,
I'm looking
on at 9, Sundays, maybe Saturday, morning cartoons.
We're going to sell you on it. So, we throughout, since we started Tres Leches, there have been kind of social media and TV moments that have captured our imagination. And one of those is back that Johnny and I kind of liked separately. We haven't really discussed it all too much together, but we're really trying to get Ian in on it. And it is Love Island.
You know, I watched season 1. So season 1 was like during COVID, right? That's when people really got into it and stuff. Wasn't there
So Love Island has existed for quite some time in the UK.
That's where I started watching in the UK.
And that is the one that got me. That it did get me during the pandemic.
Because I think I used to watch that with Chris.
I was like all about it, love. And then the US wanted to, colonize or not colonize, but
appropriate.
Yeah, appropriate. That's
Borrow.
what we do. They colonize, we appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
So we,
or like what Ian Paget does, which is he borrows, which is steal.
Right. She tries it on for a little and she returns.
Yeah. I wore your Shades of Grey shirt, by the way, on Saturday.
Huh?
I wore your Shades of Grey shirt on Saturday. You left it here. You're going to get it back on Wednesday, obviously. But no pictures were taken, so you didn't see it. But I wore it, and I got many, many compliments on it. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Period. No.
Yeah, you don't remember. Wow. See,
watch me see it and be like, that's where my fucking shirt has been.
I don't know how you forget where your clothing is.
To me,
my clothing is so... I know, but my clothing is so important, and it's like, I buy it because I love it. And so if I lose that, like, I remember, I feel it, it's this one.
Yes, I did leave that, didn't I? That's a cute picture.
Yeah,
that's a great picture. Nice glasses.
So the person who took the picture was like, I think you should try the glasses on. I was like, oh, okay. So I tried them on. He goes, I think we should take a picture. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he took a picture, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay.
I think we need a photo here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
who's the owner of the glasses? Just out of curiosity.
I met him that night. He was a nice guy. Se llama Nico. Pero también tenía un novio. Tenía dos novios. Dos novios. Están, ¿cómo se dice? ¿Cómo dices? Like throuple. Bueno, sí, poly whatever, en español. Y fueron muy sensibles, pero solo me gustaba uno. So
classic Ian Paget.
By the way, se dice, I just looked it up because I didn't know. It is poliamor. So serían poliamorosos.
Ok. Bueno, Nico y los dos otros están en una relación poliamoroso. Right. Wait, una relación. Oh, yeah, relación está female. Poliamorosa. Is that what you said? No. Amorosa? No.
Yeah.
Amorosa.
Poliamorosa.
Amorosa, yeah. Poliamorosa.
Yeah.
Y, bueno, anyway, they were very, very nice. And that's that.
This is what I want to see. This is what I mean about Love Island. That's what I because Ian doesn't watch Love Island, unfortunately. But what I wanted to discuss was the idea. So Love Island, just to get it out there, it is a place where single people come. It's an island for the summer.
I love
Everyone
it so much.
couples up. They're supposed to, they get in, they find someone that they couple up with, and every episode or every other episode, they bring in a new bombshell has entered the villa. And you just see the way people react when the new bitch comes through. And guess what? The new bitch is usually always hotter than the bitches that are already currently there. Because you got to shake it up. You got to have someone there.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to produce a gay Love Island.
Wow.
And that's your conversation just made me think of that because because gay men specifically are so polyamorosas, there's just a lot more layers to what it could actually look like.
Because a lot of the drama on Love Island is always like, no, she's mine. No, he's mine. I only want one, and you only want one. And like sometimes there's a little bit of overlap. Yes, there's definitely been trifectas for sure and beyond. But it's usually that. So, but on the gay version, I feel like there's a world in which there would be
Here's more
thickness in
more
that.
thickness, more nuance.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there any sort of nuance on this one though with like anyone being bi? I would think. No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not so far.
They give. There's plenty of contestants that give gay energy, and sometimes when you spot it. And you're like,
yes,
she likes a little bit of Dippin' Dots.
I see.
Yes, exactly. Banana split flavor, baby.
Exactly.
God, Dippin' Dots. Wow,
So
what
there's
a
always a
wonderful
love
thing.
triangle. There's always like, I'm kind of in a triangle right now,
Yeah.
and he's a bit of me, and so, like, she's come into the villa, and I just don't like that, and she's talking to her, and
Johnny's Love Island is better than Love Island. You do it better than they do.
Yeah, one of your next characters should just be like Johnny Sibilly as Adele.
Oh my god.
Oh yes. But
Did you just say pride sucks?
Exactly.
Yeah, she's really something.
My concert. So good.
She is Adele as Eliza Doolittle and My Fair Lady When. Now that is a revival I'd want to see.
Casting.
Oh my god, she would be amazing.
I don't know if she'd like that schedule though.
No, it'd have to be one performance every 8 weeks.
Period.
But all the false. Oh, sorry. All the head voice, like legit singing, would actually be really good for her. Unless she blew way too much air to just whatever. But I think it would actually be good for her.
Yeah, it would be good for her.
It would make her pop stuff stronger.
Yeah.
So, what I love about Love Island is that it embraces. I love things that embrace the context of where they exist. That it is 2024. I like that it does not pretend to be like create these, like The Bachelor tries to harken back to a time of this and that and goodness and values. No. It gets to be both those things. Love Island is so interesting because it's like, I actually kind of do believe that most people, even at their sluttiest, are looking for love.
Yeah.
Even when they're being skanks.
Right.
And this show embraces people who know that. The people on this show are not there like, no.
So, yeah.
No,
like,
you can't touch me. It's like, no, maybe not tonight, but like tomorrow.
For sure.
Like you can't on the first night, but tomorrow. There are people who are aware that like you can be superficial and you can fall in love fast and you can fall out of love fast. It feels very realistic to me. Yeah. Even though the stakes are so weird, it's the weirdest show ever because it's like the couple that is the favorite wins money. I mean, that's really the competition. The audience favorite.
Oh.
The
They're
couple
being
that
voted
is
on.
Yes, by us.
Are you voting?
Well, for the UK version, it premieres after the fact, but the US,
yes, exactly.
I think you can for sure.
Yeah, you can.
Wow. Oh my god, I love it.
And there's this thing called Casa Amor, which comes very late in the season, where they all the guys or all the girls will go to a different house, and they will bring in like 5 new guys that will just blow your mind, and so. Everyone in that time is always, because they're not there. Like the bombshell that enters the villa has to be with everyone. But Casa Amor is like, you're not going to see any of the guys that I'm potentially talking to. And you're not going to see any of the girls that I'm potentially talking to. So they're just, and that's when it's really tested to see if like they really want to be with that person or if they.
I see. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do like that. That is a fun social experiment to watch.
And the only thing that kind of breaks my heart about Love Island sometimes, it's already popped up in this season more so than it has in other times. Like,
Tell me.
There is, in this season, which is what season, Johnny? We're in season...
U.S. is season 6.
U.S.
UK is
season
like
6.
11, maybe.
Okay. Of the U.S. versions that I've seen, I think I've missed one or two. The men are all kind of about the same. There's always one or two guys who are much hotter, right? And the same with the women. But on this season, there's really like 3 guys who are so much, they're really, really, really hot. And then there's one guy that everyone's like, whoa, no one can compete with him. He's 6'6". He's this gorgeous chocolate black he's a god. Okay. He's like how tall is he? 6'8"?
6'8".
He's 6'8" and handsome.
Yeah.
Handsome, because sometimes it's 6. Sometimes when you get that big, the proportions start to go a little every which way.
They work.
No. Everything matches. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. So like he's gonna win anyone he wants, kind of. And then they've got this other guy. What's his name? Oh my god, I need to look.
I don't know, but it sounds like you have. It sounds like you have a little like tiernito.
You're gonna have to bleep this when you hear it.
Yes.
Honey, it's a Picasso.
Yes.
He's tall, but the face is sliding. Eyes are sliding off to the side. Mouth looks like the grimace from old McDonald meal.
Yes, we're talking about someone who we're not going to mention on the podcast, who is extremely tall, whose proportions have left Leonardo da Vinci's skin, his axis. By the way, that voice you're hearing is Andrew Chappelle again, who just today, when this releases, has a new podcast with Cody Rigsby, Tactful Pettiness. Please go download it.
And she just gave you a little preview of that.
Correct.
Exactly. She just gave us a real preview of the pettiness. And I have been a fly on the wall, and it's so good. You're just gonna absolutely love it. So wait till you see that.
Walking the path with
yes,
us,
I have definitely
leading us down the path.
I have been definitely walking down the path with
holding
you.
a lantern like Ichabod Crane in Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow.
Okay, leading us to shelter and safety.
Work.
Now let's just hope there's Wi-Fi when we get there. Okay, wait. So the really tall, sexy one.
Yeah.
His name is Koi. Okay. He's 28 years old. He's like gorgeous and he's got a good job. And then the one I'm talking about, who's not so cute, is this little one named Cordell.
Oh, I think Cordell is cute.
He's 21, but you know you're in trouble. All the women, by the way, for some reason are like brilliant. They're like, there's one who's kind of like, she has no job or nothing, but the others are like, yeah, I'm in sales. I'm a pharmaceutical salesperson. I sell devices. Oh, I'm this. I'm pursuing my PhD. And they're like gorgeous girls. And poor
Gorgeous,
Cordell,
but no less annoying.
No less annoying. they act like they ain't got no job.
Right.
But they do have jobs.
They do
but
have
sweet Cordell, he's like, one of the smart girls is like, so what do you want to do? And Cordell says, you know what? I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor influencer. And she's like, okay. And when he goes, and he goes, and I'm really interested in doing deals. I want to do brand deals. It's like,
Aww.
Okay.
He's 21. He's 21.
Okay. And she's like, what kind of deals? And he says, what did he say, Johnny? Do you remember?
Was it the one about the mortgage?
No, it was like chips or something.
Oh, yes. I'm thinking about when he said, something about, he's like, I want to own a house, but the mortgages is low, or like are low, or there's that. Like, it was just very like, oh, I bought a seat.
I know. So the thing is, what I'm trying to describe to you about this season of Love Island is, it seems like the cards don't seem stacked quite exactly right in favor of everyone. But you say you think Cordell's cute.
Yeah, I think he's cute.
There's an ass for every saddle.
Correct. He serves a purpose for someone else's fantasy.
And that's the thing. That is why I want a gay Love Island. Also, one of the things I love about Love Island is that it's not trying to be smart. It's not trying to be anything that it's not. It's about young, hot people having a summer together, getting to know each other, kissing, having sex maybe. I want that for the girls. Like, I want that for gay men. I mean, they already have it on Fire Island, P-Town, but I want a very much secluded place where a new Ian or Juan walks into the villa and the girls are like, oh, now that is my type on paper. Like,
would you? So, see, you mentioned earlier there's a sort of order as to how
you were
they
gonna ask this.
sort of how they bust out new characters and
No.
You
1000% would be a bombshell, because here's also the thing.
Oh, a bomb! Oh my God, I get it. A bombshell. We're dropping a bombshell.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing about you would be a bombshell because in your nature you like to shake things up.
Yeah.
In your nature. And that's the thing. That's how they cast this too. Like, the people that are in the beginning, they are like the people, the prom court, the homecoming court, and, the friend group. You just see them getting on really easily. But then the girls come in, and that's not to say that the bombshells don't acclimate and they then join the party. But when they walk in, you're like, oh, period. Yes. So...
Like Carrie coming to the prom and lighting everything up on fire.
Right.
Yeah, and you have to have a certain kind of energy. Mm-hmm. Usually, like, at the beginning, they're like the great personality, nice, hot, sweet, like earnest, great, like they're great.
They walk old ladies across the street. To be a bombshell, you have to be a little bit like, I'm here to fuck shit up.
Mm-hmm. You have to fuck people. You have to be someone who can fuck people's boyfriends.
You're like, I know he's with you, but... but that's how they are. Like, but it's also
that's the hope, because everyone's got a boyfriend when you get there.
Yeah,
so you can't be like, oh my God, everyone's taken. You can be like, oh no, that's the one I want.
Yeah. And sometimes when you get later into the season, the people watch the show, so they know how the girls are being treated in the villa. So they're like, I'm coming in to show you what a real man will treat you like.
Correct.
Yeah.
And sometimes the bombshell does the bombshell always get to choose like a private to take one?
Usually they're usually the one that does the recoupling, because they do a recouple every 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So that's when the shakeup really happens.
And the bombshell has to be very confident, because you're going to recouple, and after the recoupling, the person who you chose may not be that into. They may have been happy. Yeah. They may have been kind of happy. You're still hot, so they're going to fuck you or want to have sex with you. But they liked the person, and you have to be like, come on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Ian's like, hi, can I speak to my agent? This seems like the perfect role for me.
It would be great. I think it would be great. I think a gay Love Island would be so great. Just
yes, I'm sure. I can't wait to see what Andrew Chappelle is what his faces have said when you said that.
You can't wait to see Andrew Chappelle's face when he says that. Andrew went,
I just want to be the host. I want to be the host.
Ooh, that would be fun.
The host just gets the fiercest job. They walk in every other day, and when they walk in, shit's about to go down.
What do they do in the downtime?
They just sit around and talk. They sit
around. No,
that's
the host.
Oh, the host. Oh, probably I don't know, dine at the Four Seasons and.
It must be very relaxing.
Are they in Hawaii?
They're in Mallorca in the UK, and then in the US Virgin. I think they're in Fiji.
Oh, nice.
Or Bali,
nice.
One of those.
But they're far. They're in the middle of nowhere, so the host has to be there and just look sickening. And this season, it's what's her name from Vanderpump Rules?
Ariana?
Ariana Madix.
Oh, Chicago's own.
Chicago's own Ariana Madix. A woman slighted.
Wow.
A woman slighted.
Who knew that being slighted would have gotten you so much
Honey, listen.
PR?
If Beyonce didn't teach you anything about what happens after being slighted, Miss Ariana, what's her last name? Madix? Mm-hmm. That'll be a lesson.
To the left. Yeah, big time.
Wait, speaking of Love Island, Ian, where were you this weekend? You were very quiet on the group chat.
Oh, I on Saturday I had an hour and a half walk with myself, and I listened to a podcast that. Why are you laughing?
I know why are you laughing.
No, it's just funny. It was just it was just like the way you described that. It was so detailed. It was like, well, Saturday I did an hour and a half. I thought you were gonna I did an hour and a half walk followed by a very.
I did an hour and a half walk. And it was because I
podcast.
listened to a podcast that you guys have to listen to. It's Rich Roll. I forget who the guest was, but it's the writer of The Power of Habit, and he wrote a new book called Super Communicators. And a friend was like, "You would love this," because we were talking about NLP, which stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming, which is essentially like getting people to say or do what it is you want by literally programming it into them yourself, which I think I'm very good at, and is helpful when you're handling personalities every day in your life, and that sort of work from home social media life. And so anyway, I listened to that podcast, and I had one of the, and I'm not Juan Torres-Falconing here, I had one of the best times at a party that I have ever had, I think, in my life. One of them, my 2 new friends who I met on Fire Island in the last couple weeks throw a annual Pride party, and they had a Pride party on Saturday, and so I went.
Brian and Jake.
No.
Oh.
These are new people.
Okay.
These are new friends.
Nice.
Even though I met Ali last year, and anyway, and they're just one of those. They're those energies that of people who go like, oh, like you're normal people who just happen to be gay. Do you know what I mean? Like no holding, just fun. Just
I was like, what does that mean?
Like here's what it means is when I met them, they were the same person the first time I met them to, like I never felt they were like sussing me out, or they were holding on to themselves as we were making impressions with it. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just so
very genuine,
genuine, and came up to me, and they were just like very, very open energy, right? And anyway, they threw a party in their backyard in Brooklyn. And their friend Max, who DJ'd, I literally, first thing I said, I was like, I want him to do weddings. I want him to do my wedding. And then a guest standing next to me was like, they did Sam and Ali's wedding. And I was like, of course, because they're best friends and they've known each other since college. And it was just truly the most fun I've ever had. Played Baby One More Time at one point. Like, just like all the goodies, all the oldies and hits, and just everyone having like a girly fun time. It was like very mixed, like giving straight kind of Mr. Sunday LA kind of Brooklyn vibes, do you know what I mean? But like but really like Sabrina Carpenter Espresso came on and everybody lost it. And I just felt, I think for me specifically, what was keeping me off my phone was that I was just so like unabashedly like very free.
Oh, I love that.
And having a good time, and like lip syncing, and like doing that thing that you do with like maybe you're like 3 or 4 girls that you don't want to see, let the world see, whatever, some of that stuff. But we were just doing it. Everyone's just like posing and dancing and like having that kind of fun. And when I tell you, I danced from 6 p.m. to midnight. Like I had to literally be like, okay, I need something to eat. Like because you just didn't want to stop. It was like Murder on the Dance Floor came on, and a mix of this, and then we like went into that. It was just so
the
Hairspray
opposite of what you were feeling on at that other time when the music wasn't good.
Correct.
So it had enough. We were dancing, but it was guilty pleasure, but it wasn't sexual, but fun. And
Correct. It was amazing, and just so much glee in the air, you know what I mean? And I met many, many people that I'm like, wow, I'm a lot of Brooklyn gays that I didn't know, but know now, and
good
I'm
to
just
know.
like, good to know Brooklyn gays. And yeah, and just it was just an overall really, really good vibe. So I just wasn't on my phone a lot. And then Sunday I was at the pier with friends. And it's just been a really nice weekend of like being outside, and I also took a breathwork class on Friday.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that's right. I voice memoed you that. It was incredible. Like I had taken one before, but not as intense as this. And apparently, this technique that was taught by I forget his name, because he doesn't teach here. He like lives somewhere else. But this technique is supposed to mimic what it feels like when you take like psilocybin or that kind of like a euphoric reaction in your body, kind of like at one point we were done and I was like, oh my God, this feels like when you're coming up from like taking a Molly or something like that. You know what I mean? And that's how like much my body was like in this place. And at one point towards the end, I was like eyes closed. And you know how you see a different world when you close your eyes and there's like the different colors and lights? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you can like see, but its eyes are closed. And at one point I was like coming out of whatever state I was in. And I kid you not, I thought I was looking, I was like, oh, there's my Patronus. I can like see this like animal like staring at me in this other world, and it was this very majestic and like gorgeous beaver. It was like a beaver looking at me, and he was just like right about I'm laying down, and there's this thing that happens where your hands cramp because your body gets so oxygenated. It's something to do with I don't know. It's called tetin or it's like a T word where.
Tinnitus?
No, it's something else. I really had never heard this word before, but it's like everyone goes through it. He's like, you're going to cramp, your hands are going to cramp, and like just breathe through it, and it's not a big deal. And it was just this like fascinating experience. Like it took me 10 minutes to get up, and like you just look at everybody after, and everyone is in their own little like world or zone. And it's kind of like you just went on a roller coaster in your body. It's like this emotional and very, very, very cathartic car wash, but like emotional car wash in your body. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So anyway, I had
all that from breathing.
Like all that, baby. That's all you had to do.
And how long was the session?
An hour.
Is there any movement, or was it really just strictly
Yep,
breathing?
you put on an eye mask.
Wow.
He walks you through in the first like 5-10 minutes.
Are there bells?
No, he plays music.
Oh, he plays music.
Yeah, so like you're truly going on this like sound bath, if you will, journey, and it was
holy moly.
It was amazing.
Would you say it opened you up for the weekend?
I think so. I definitely think like taking time to honor and do new things always just feels good. There's that sort of inner reward feeling that happens, when you're like, oh, I did something new today that like on a Friday night was maybe not the norm. You're thinking like you go for a drink and this and that, but that was so much more nutritious for me. And so my Saturday and Sunday I was just like ready and gunning, and it just felt like everything fell into place. Saturday was just another perfect day of great energy, and I knew I was like, I'm gonna dance today and we're gonna have a ball, and we did. And then Sunday was like, I'm gonna be outside and I'm gonna be outgoing. Like I don't know, I just feel very in the driver's seat of my mood these days.
Yeah,
I
love that intention.
Oh, that is a
we're gonna
very
do
good
this.
place to be.
We're gonna go and we're gonna dance and we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
rather than like, oh my God, who's gonna be there? Is it gonna be? Is the music gonna be good? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe it was quiet a little bit. Nothing crazy. No scheming. No minxing going on. But it is Monday, so just give me a few days. I'm sure I could find something to fuck up. But
what's the difference between Brooklyn gays and Manhattan gays?
I didn't know them. No. I didn't know them, and it's a style thing. I mean, it's just they're like. They really.
I mean, there are very stylish. There are very stylish Manhattan gays.
Of course,
too.
no, of course.
But overall, Brooklyn is the place to be. The cooler kids are there.
Yeah, and it was like a couple people I knew, but then there were these people, walks of life that you're like, oh, like they all feel like artists. They all feel like the people you want to have that fun, like girly time with. No one was holding. Let's put it that way. No one.
Yeah,
was
they
holding.
feel like they also still work as VP of Sales at Procter & Gamble, but they're
correct.
just
yes,
know,
our
just
hosts are lawyers. Our hosts are lawyers who are just super fun.
Yeah, gay men don't do. They're change. Where gay men used to always be artists and writers and creatives. Now they want to be lawyers and bankers, and I don't blame them.
But they also go to Burning Man and do art and Etsy
correct
on the side.
Correct.
Yeah.
They do both. They haven't given it up.
I would say that's a really great way to describe that. The energy this Saturday was more of a Burning Man, like way more like boho chic, but VP of Sales during the week kind of thing, compared to Horse Meat Disco. Does that kind of put it into
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm with you.
And it was really lovely. It was really
how
lovely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you went to Six Flags, Johnny?
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, we went to Six Flags. Philip
Was it just the two of
surprised
you?
me with a trip to Six Flags. Yeah, it was just the two of us. The two of us and lots of teenagers.
Yeah, it's Six Flags over Magic Mountain. Is that what it's called?
Yes, Magic Mountain. It's in, right outside of Los Angeles proper. It was great. It was so fun. We just got our passes and we just rode the. Philip is obsessed with roller coasters. That is like his favorite thing. He used to like grow up playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, looking up the biggest roller coasters in the world. So he is about that life. So he wanted to go, and it was really fun. And
that's awesome.
I was like looking at the kids, and at first I was like, oh my God, they're so annoying and loud. And I was like, you know what? This is their Coachella. This is their, this is their moment.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is how are you around that? Does it make you feel like, oh my God, I love this. It's bringing me back to like, that young energy, or are you like,
it brings me back for a second, and then it takes me to my, annoyed 30-something-year-old self, where it's like, could we just be a little quieter? Did no one teach you manners? You can't hold spots in line, kid. Like little things like that.
The making out in the line, the like putting the hand in the butt pocket of your boyfriend or girlfriend, and holding them. Oh my God.
Yeah. It was.
I used to love that shit.
Were there a lot of gay people, like gay teenagers?
No, I didn't really see any actually. Yeah, I didn't.
Just Philip.
It was like me and
They had
Philip.
rehearsal.
And he's such a bitch.
Juan missed it. Did you hear what I said, Juan?
What did you say?
I said just Philip.
Oh.
She's calling my man a teenager. I know she ain't talking.
No, I am certainly not. I don't think any of us actually, including Miss Chappelle, who's in the other room.
Ooh.
What
is it? Well, should we get into spilled milk? We have a couple.
We have some good ones, actually.
Yeah. Ooh, can't wait for the heavy cream on this one.
But we'll be right back. Welcome back,
Hi, everybody.
milkers. Oh, I know you missed us. Oh, so we got your spilled milk. We asked for you to just give us, some leches, some kernels of your own personal drama, if you wanted some advice. But we're going to go through one that is kind of topical because we were just talking about age. And this one says, age gap in relationships. I'm 43 right now, and I met my 29-year-old that I'm interested in. Oh, okay. A 29-year-old that I'm interested in. All right. Well,
listen, I've dated someone 10 years younger than me, and
was it 10 years?
It was like 10, maybe even it might have even like close. Because of when he turned 11, I think actually too.
Mm-hmm. He turned 11.
Yeah, exactly. Police.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. I'm not going to chalk it up to like, I don't think anything is ever the thing you're thinking. Like the reason for something to work or not isn't just like age gap. Like I think that's very easy to kind of chalk it up to. And I have many friends who are in actually, that's not even that much of an age gap, but like I have ones who are even like 15, 17-year age gaps, and they are married and in very, very secure, successful relationships, super advanced, and
houses in the Hamptons, darling.
Well, and not, and it's
multiple,
and it's
in
less,
Kensington, darling.
Yes, of course, darling.
Well, if, sort of less superficial. But I was going to go there, I really see them love each other, and I see the way that the younger one helps care for. Like Chris, and then how Chris loves it and is like, there's something so beautiful about watching two people decide to love each other when one has experienced 17 years more of life and the other one still hasn't yet. They get to try new things on.
Indeed.
So I'm here for it if it works for you, and then when it doesn't, you just you tackle that when you need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like age is linear. Yes, we do get, you're 34 and then you're 35 and then you're 36, but it is dynamic also. The difference between 29 and 43 is very different than the difference between 19 and 33. That is
right.
totally different.
Yes.
You know, so I actually don't think that the age gap between 29 and 43 is really all that big. You're on that either side of your 30s, but there's a shorthand because you've experienced a lot of the big similar decisions. You're in the thick of adulthood together.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a perfectly reasonable age gap. I wouldn't even bat an eye at it twice.
Yeah.
I am a very age conscious person. I think about aging and age constantly. So it's not that I write a blank check for all differently age relationships. I do think that there are sometimes that it can be inappropriate, some age gaps for many different reasons. It's not just, over 20 or less than 20 is good or more than 20 is bad or whatever. It's not that easy to define. But I think as long as you feel that, that you like the person and that they're okay with it, then go for it. If someone is giving you shit about 29 to 43, do me a favor. Grow up.
Yeah. Well, people will give you shit no matter what.
Correct.
But, it is, as someone who has very vocally on this podcast said that people that are younger than me have nothing to offer me, like what am I going to do with a 26-year-old, and then find myself with exactly that, a 26-year-old. And, there's a 10-year gap, and, I think there's a lot of, in my specific instance, I feel like there's just a meeting of it's just like a plug, like when you meet that match that he's like old soully and I'm like can't grow uppy a little bit, and there's like that little like I talk to him in TikTok lingo and he gets it too because he's of that age, not because he necessarily is trying to do that like I am, like trying to stay with it and trying to because I also just love newness. I love new, but there's also something to be said that there is things that I've learned in the past 10 years that I'm realizing he has not experienced. And so it's very interesting. It's there's just a lot of, stuff just with being a gay man that's like, oh, I've seen a lot in 10 years, and you can go 10 years and not see anything, but I have seen a lot. And, there's things that he has not seen. So it's funny to think we have this shorthand as 30-something-year-old men that we like, oh, yeah, because you know how the girls are, that he doesn't know how the girls are in the same way. He knows how the girls are in his own way. But I think that's such... Whereas before I would have saw that as like a detriment to the relationship, I see it as such a wonderful way of being able to experience things again through someone else.
I love that.
Connection, yeah.
And I wish, I always say I wish at 26 I had someone like me in a relationship.
Oh, God.
I had that in my 30s, but back in my when you're really coming into, because gays mostly in their 20s, a lot of gay men come into themselves in their 20s, because we are, we have to do things later. But I wish I had someone that was supportive and, wanted to see me thrive. And not that I didn't have that, it just came out much more toxically than that. So
maybe they want you to thrive, and you found someone supportive and who had your best interests at heart, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But how much life had they lived?
Right.
How much could they season your casserole with their knowledge and experience? You could not have said it better. It sent chills down my spine because I really wish I had had someone like that when I was 26.
Yeah.
So to our milker here, I think about all the wonderful things that you can contribute to your 29-year-old's life.
Right.
I mean,
all the things you can think.
And I'm not even talking about the superficial things, although those things help too.
They do. They do.
They do.
All right, well, the next little spilled milk is actually quite literally spilled milk. It is from one of our milkers. It says, I slept with my professor the day after graduation.
Good for you. Good for you.
Good for you,
Okay.
girl.
What a professional
Thing to
Teacher's pet.
do.
a scholar. You waited.
Absolutely. Yes.
And you got your degree, you got your diploma, and then you sat on it instead of sitting on it before the grade was published.
Correct.
Because a lot of the girls would want to be doing it during class to get that edge, but she said, no, I'm going to get this on my merit, and then I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also could have just passed with a D, and then she got the D. You know what I mean?
Does one pass with a D?
I think you can pass. Like if everything else is, I don't remember. It's been such a long time.
I don't
but
think
I feel
you
like
can pass with a D.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can pass with a D. Yeah, you can get a D. Yeah,
high
yeah,
D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You can get a pass with a D, apparently.
Word.
Yes. No, but I see.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, of course.
The professor was speaking to me.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the when oh my god, what is her name? My god, I can't believe I'm forgetting the actress's name. Andrew, help me. The actress who is she was on on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She's very, very
Tatiana
famous. She's the godmother
Ali?
of Black Hollywood.
Shirley
Jennifer
Ralph?
Lewis.
Jennifer Lewis.
Thank you.
Jennifer Lewis was doing an interview. It's hilarious, and her ADD just takes over because like someone
distracted her.
Is
And
distracting
she was saying
her.
something, and she's like, "I love you, Jennifer." She's like, "Yes,
She goes, yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes."
What was your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. No, but I'm very, very proud of you for waiting until the end. Also because I really kind of I know it's kind of frowned upon to
Sleep with the
hook
educator.
up, sleep with your bosses or your professors, but it's tempting. And you resisted the temptation, and in 2024 we know better than we shouldn't, we shouldn't indulge when the power differential can compromise things. So you did the right thing.
I agree.
She waited till the scales were balanced and said,
And you said,
Hopefully.
summa cum.
loud.
But loud, okay? Loudy.
Work. So this next
loudy.
one is always going to be a hot button issue. Ooh. It says,
I'm sweating.
hung guys thinking their schlong does all the work. No, ma'am.
No.
Thoughts?
Well, actually, I've had really good experiences with people who are very well endowed and also knew exactly how to use it.
Oh,
So
you
I-
do?
Oh, you
Yes, I have. Oh my God, are you saying that hasn't happened to you?
No, listen.
course.
Listen, guys with
Yeah.
big ones. I call them a park and bark. That's sometimes when you can take up so much space, you don't really have to do much. But
The weight.
But there's downsides to having big meat. There's more blood. And listen, not everyone has enough blood. Not everyone's circulation is working on all cylinders. But when those two meet, when the circulation meets the meat, baby,
Baby, we got it. Yeah, I think what our milker may be referencing to, and I have definitely experienced this when someone is beautifully endowed and they feel like they don't really have to do much. And you know what? For a true, like if someone's a real size queen, they really don't. Like let the receiver receive and do and put you where they need to be because you've got the gift. Ahí está,
Keeps
right?
on
And that's
giving.
fine. But sometimes what can happen, and this is maybe gilding the lily to this question or to this inquiry, to this little cup of half and half that they've left for us to respond to. But, sometimes I find when someone's really, really well endowed, I'm not crazy about the dialogue of like, oh, my dick, my giant dick. Oh, yeah, it's so good. I like that. But
you like that?
I do like that. Fine.
Yeah.
But it can get a little bit like, okay, yeah, so like,
we get it.
we get it. Your dick is great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like a little bit more of like I prefer how good does this feel inside of you? Yeah, I like that a little bit better because it's about centered around me and my experience.
Yeah, what you like rather than like, I know you like this big shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, have you ever seen a dick like that? You know, that can
Yes,
happen.
I have, actually.
Yes,
You're the third one this day.
Correct.
On this day.
Work.
Wait,
Yeah.
So I think what I also am like, maybe I'm just projecting what I'm reading from this is
I just was, yes.
you know, because it was basically like hung guys thinking their schlong does all the work. No, ma'am. It's kind of like this bottom to me feels like, baby, I am giving you Cirque du Soleil on this dick. If you don't put in some effort, a little bit of swerve on it, and you're just laying there getting all. I think that's what they're basically saying. It's like, this is an equal opportunity, effort.
Yes, because Cirque du Soleil took me out. That sent me to the hospital. I will tell you that.
So good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
it
also
will.
doing something amazing. You have that amazing gift, but can everyone do what I'm doing on that? Well, nowadays, everyone can do that on that. They just know what they're doing. Bottoms have stretched out.
Oh.
They're ready.
I think what the kids call gaping. This is Tres Leches After Dark, I guess.
This is giving Patreon. Yeah.
But if you live in New York, baby, this could be at any hour of the day. Someone is getting
breakfast.
Well, I actually just found out the term boyfriend. Like, someone was like, "Oh, is it giving boyfriend?" And I was like, "What are you guys talking about?" They're like,
boyfriend dick is, it's like
6.
Goldilocks dicks, not too big, not too small, just
right.
Right. Yeah, you could take that often and it won't break the bank.
I could maybe also take something a little bigger often and it won't break the bank.
Yeah. Would you say you guys are size queens?
No.
Be honest.
I think I enjoy it and I like it and I you know what? Like I might be a bit of a size queen a little bit. But I'm also not, because if other things are
because sometimes you go over boys who are like sometimes you go after boys who are obviously not going to be like super well endowed.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Obviously not well endowed. What is your barometer for what's obviously well endowed or not? She's like, don't act like you can't see it from a mile away.
You can tell typically. I mean, there's always surprises, but
but
overall, we talked about proportions on people who are 6'8" and the way that things work. Sometimes when someone is a smaller person, as a short person, well, not that short. I'm 5'8".
Smaller person.
I'm sure. I'm not 6'4". When someone is 6'4", you assume that there's a greater likelihood that things are going to be a certain way. When someone is 5'4", and Ian will often go over between 4'8" and 5'3" sometimes. Wow. He'll a shorter man too.
Wow. I do like a short king.
You do.
I do.
Yeah. So, but no,
but
you're a little bit of a size. Are you a size queen, Johnny?
No. I like them all shapes and sizes.
I do too.
I am an aesthetics queen, that's for sure. I like them pretty.
I like weight also, by the way.
Oh,
so it doesn't maybe have to
girth.
be big. No,
yeah,
but
I think there's a preoccupation with length and not enough of preoccupation with
strength.
Girth. Yeah, strength. Yeah. Well, strength and that's what I mean about circulation. When the blood is flowing, it's strong.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Was that restoration or Wayfair? That
was. Don't ask questions you don't want. That I don't want to give you the answer to. No, but my size queenishness is really about height. I love a tall man. I love it. I love him. I like it.
I love how she grabs the mic with both hands.
But a big, tall man, skinny, tall man. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of it. So
the skinny ones do be packing.
They do, but sometimes not. But
no, sometimes but sometimes not. But that's the thing we have to learn is that you don't know until you know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And even when it isn't, a huge, and that's also the thing. People's idea of what's big, I've noticed, is really subjective. And what
Ain't it,
works is subjective.
Yeah.
So to each their own, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they are the size of Texas, a Mississippi might walk up and you're like, oh, that's kind of small. But then like maybe.
But this ain't Texas.
This ain't Texas. I haven't heard that song in a minute.
Oh yeah.
It's all been espresso machine.
It came on Saturday. That came on. It was so great, you guys. So great.
That's
Such a
the
fun party.
espresso.
Actually, I made a targeted comment on our thread to Juan listeners, which I didn't realize was targeted
Juan
to him,
listeners. What does
yeah.
that mean?
No, to Juan
Listeners.
Because we were talking about something, I think maybe, I don't remember, and Johnny, you were like, let me see them, and I sent you pictures of something, and then I was like, they're tall, so they're happy, and then Juan was like, I think that's targeted at me. Mm-hmm. LOL, it made me laugh.
It is.
It was a very you take on their tallness.
By the way, before we go out, I have something that needs to be cleared up because the meme has become very popular again. Like Rachel, Rachel Jesus.
Show it to me, Rachel.
I have to clear something up. It is, and you both just did it. That's why I didn't say it. It is not. You're missing the best part of this fucking video. It's not show it to me, Rachel. It's show me to me, Rachel. Show me to me. Show me to me. Show me to me. Show me to me. Rachel, show me to me. Do you understand the fucking poetry in that? Yeah. Do you understand the poetry? Show me to me, Rachel. Show the world what I am. Show me. To me, show the world what religion has done to my brain. Ooh. What being a white woman in America has done to me. Show me to me, Rachel. And it's also show me to me, Rachel. I love Jesus so much. He's a part of my heart.
He's a part of me.
Show me to me.
Correct. Yes. It's actually so sweet. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Sure. You in your Christian era?
Me? Uh-huh. What does that mean exactly?
I would just love it if you went into like a Christian era where you were like,
imagine?
I love Jesus.
Oh, I
she
thought
said,
you meant,
get ready with me to go to church.
I love you, Jesus.
She said service was so good. She sends us a voice memo about service.
Oh my God.
Word.
Jesus loves me.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Jesus loves. Do you guys ever remember her singing that? Rachel Marin, played by Whitney Houston on Bodyguard.
Oh.
That's where I learned that song. For
Really?
the Bible tells me so. So good.
Mm-hmm. There is something
Not
about
my
gospel
version,
that
her
will.
version.
I will tell you this. If I'm going to change his name, I'll bleep it out, but I'm also going to change it now. For if went to Westminster, ask Ian to go to St. Patrick's.
Oh yeah, if she asked Ian to devote her life to Christ, she said, "Call me Judah."
You guys, that's not fair. I mute that person on purpose, and now you're using it as a weapon, and it's.
Ooh. But so did
I'm
you
going
get it
on a
when
date
we
with
sent
someone
it to
else.
you?
I'm going on a date in an hour and a half with someone else that I have to try and project an idea onto, and hopefully they like it and can like serve
walk
it back
and
to
talk.
me. A walk and talk, exactly.
Yeah, for context, listeners, Ian muted someone, because I like a person, and that person was with someone that Ian likes, and I shared the video because it was like, it was a crossover event. It was a primetime crossover
I shared the
special.
video.
You shared it?
I shared it.
Oh,
I shared it to the group.
And I couldn't see it because I don't follow that person, by the way. Oh yeah,
Why?
I think I shared it first.
I thought
No,
Juan
I shared it.
Oh,
No, I shared it.
Well,
you might have
luckily we
shared
have
it
a
in a direct
transcript.
thread with Ian.
No,
I
I shared the photo. I shared the photo of them at the beach.
Yes,
setting
and
up
then I
that it
shared the
happened.
video.
And then you shared
of said
and
individual.
I couldn't see it because I wasn't following. And then I thought, and I didn't clock the name and understand who it was. But then it was sent to me by someone else because that person reposted the person in question. But I mute him, so I didn't see it. But then another person sent it. Just was a funny moment. I was like, 2-3 people have sent this to me because they understand.
Because she's vocal about what she likes.
I am, but I don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, but once you know, you know. And then when you see that girl pop up, it's like, oh, Ian would love
But we know.
But I'm actually doing I'm doing a good job of just like not interacting. And he commented on my story about something. Did I tell you this, by the way? I was just like, okay. And I wrote gracias. And then I sent it to Juan and I sent it to Rob. And then Rob's first thing was, that's all you said? And I was like, yeah. He goes, Ian, you could have been like, how's your weekend? How's it going? How are you? And I was like, no, because I've tested the experiment out before. Like I've done he responded to something and I like kept it going by one more question and it was unread. And I was just like, I'm not doing that again.
No, good for you.
Anyway, but he really does just, I don't have any notes for him, honestly.
No notes. A podcast coming soon.
That's a great title.
What is it?
It would be called No Notes, but all we do is actually have notes about everything.
We thought about that as an idea.
I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah, that was on the original. It's a great name.
Oh, and it could have been like like parentheses K, no notes, and like notes of things we know, and so it's like we're sharing like things. I don't know, sort of. We could have worked on that one maybe, but anyway.
Well, whether you're working on a long schlong or harkening back to your days of London, please think of us. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, your lovers, maybe your poliamorosas.
Ooh.
Si puedes. But we will see you back here, and we'll be
Next
queer.
week. Mwah.
Can't wait. Mwah.
Oy. I'm gonna stop it.
¡Qué rico!